Hello, Roy. All right, guys, this is the ticket checker. If you got your ticket, just pull out your ticket and flash it. All right, location for Harris. When we first got Harris opened up in the Tremaine. That's a little neighborhood behind the French Quarter. And it didn't work out. Doors within 9 months. It was just a bad move. It was they were content shooting dice on the sidewalk. The idea of a big old fancy casino just didn't appeal to the Queen. All right, ticket check, ticket check, ticket check. And another one at 6. On your left, behind the bank. Now the bank is white at the bottom, brown at the top. To brag about, they like to brag about them chandeliers. That hotel is 150 years old. See, I told y'all we do not tear them down. This building right here, now, that building is 46 stories tall. Quarterback Drew Brees. Drew Brees purchased walk-ons in 2014. It's a real nice restaurant. The food is definitely good. Now on your right, all the way back to the Holiday Inn with the clarinet. Well, that's just there to remind you that this used to be the music. That's the Cancer Survivors Plaza. It was donated to us by Richard and Annette Block, the H&R Block tax people. This was a... Also coming up on our right, guys, that is the train station, Amtrak train station, and the Greyhound bus station. I'll tell you about this building on the left. There's a little story here with the windows out. Well, that building, the people who lived and worked there started to complain about respiratory issues and breathing problems. So many people had gotten sick that it caught the attention of the Department of Health and Hospitals. Well, the DHH sent some guys in to do an investigation. All 33 floors. We got the World War II Museum here in 2000. And around 2002, it became the most visited museum in the city, according to TripAdvisor. 2005, Hurricane Katrina. Hurricane Katrina came along, and it took them a year to make those repairs. So, when they finished the repairs, it's 2006. It reopened in 2006. And when it reopened, it did not reopen as the National D-Day Museum as it had opened originally. It reopened as the National World War II Museum. Now, the most frequently asked question that I always get is, how did y'all get the World War II Museum in New Orleans? Why New Orleans? Why not D.C.? Why not New York? Why New Orleans? Well, I'll tell you why right now. Because of Andrew Higgins. Andrew Higgins was a boat builder from here in New Orleans. He had a company called Higgins Industries. They were a boat building company. And they built this boat, the Higgins boat, that was used during the war. And that's why we have it here. Now, this is the museum district. There's about 12 museums here that are worthy of your investigation. Like the one on your left. This red slate building right next to the bus, that's the Civil War Museum. The Civil War Museum, no one? Guys, don't go back home without checking this out. This is a fabulous museum. They have so much to see and do. And I took American history in the 10th grade. I small videos. Oh, you could be there for about 2.5 hours. Over on your left, this is the Higgins Hotel. That's the World War II Museum's hotel. And they also have their own restaurant right here. On your right, this is the American sector. The food is fabulous. They have a country menu like all with guns. They started calling it Magazine Street. This is also known as the American Quarters. Remember, The French did not want the Americans in the French Quarter, so this is where the Americans came. They would build their lives here. Look to your left. Y'all see these houses? They're called double shotgun houses. Now where y'all were from, y'all probably this. The tattoo shop, palm reading shop, the flower shop, another palm reading shop on your left, La Carreta, Mexican restaurant. There's 62 restaurants here. Then we got Stardust, a men's barber shop, the wine tasting room. Girl, they got so much shopping over here. Magazine Street has been caught. And that was their main source of income. A lot of these guys were out of work. They were having a hard time. Well, we had just signed a Louisiana Purchase, acquired 15 million acres of land. Oh, there was a lot of land. But it was a sugar plantation. Jacques Liberté came over here and bought 250 acres of land.
And you had yours up here, sir?
Walking tour. This is where you get off of the walking tour. Nobody's coming. So nothing but shopping, ladies. We got about over here. Now, John Goodman's wife has this little clothing store for children on your left. It's called Pippin Lane, cute, 84. Joey K's on your right, known for its home cooking. All you can eat mashed potatoes and meatloaf, spaghetti and meatballs, fried chicken. You would have loved that. Now, if your home cooking is not what you want, on your left, the Mediterranean restaurant, best falafels. Empanola is Mexican. And look to your right, guys, this is the Ben. We got Cho, C-H-O, that's a Thai restaurant, really good. Basin is a New Orleans restaurant. They also have Bulldog coming up on your left. It's a sports bar and a restaurant. El Paso is Mexican. Oh, they got something for everybody. Oh, look at this here. Even a vegan restaurant, y'all, with daily beef. All right, we just made a right turn here on Louisiana Avenue. Louisiana Avenue has always been known for its large live oak trees. We call these live oaks because they stay green all year long. These trees are about 300 years old. Also, Louisiana Avenue is known for its antebellum homes. Antebellum is French for before the war. So these houses were built before the Civil War. They're a little over 300 years old. Now, if you want to live over here, it's going to cost you anywhere between $2 million and $5 million, anywhere from 5,000 square feet to 7,000 square feet. We just didn't have a lot of land in the city for plantation homes. Plantation homes are mostly found out in rural areas, like around Baton Rouge, around Houma, but we just didn't have enough land here. Very few plantation homes in the city. Anybody want to eat up at Stockport Tea? All right, this was a funeral home. Today it's a meat market. So, yeah, I ain't never been in there. I'm not buying my meat from a funeral home. The St. Charles Avenue is known as the Avenue of Mansions. Houses get pricier over here. Starting price $7 million. Now, if you look to the right, we missed Beyonce house. No, we didn't. That is Beyonce's little New Orleans getaway. Over on your left, the white church. That is the Christ Cathedral Church. That's the very first non-Catholic church to come to the Louisiana territory. People always want to know, how were they able to build that Protestant church there if Catholicism was the law? Well, the short answer would be tiny. It was built in 1802. During that time, we were a Spanish colony.
They go way back.
See, they weren't trying to force people into Catholicism like the French did. Also, St. Charles Avenue is the official Mardi Gras route. This is where the floats roll down during parades. Now look to the right, guys. This beige mansion on the right, that's the Belfort Mansion. That, my friends, is the where they filmed the reality TV show The Real World.
Oh my gosh, I'll watch that.
They filmed The Real World there for 6.5 years. Famous people used to come before Bourbon Street became popular. Yep, the Pontchartrain Hotel back in the 50s and 60s. Dick Cavett, Joey Bishop, Dean Martin, Frank Sinatra. All them guys used to love the Pontchartrain Hotel. And even Tennessee Williams. Tennessee Williams lived here in the late 50s. So he was writing his book, Streetcar Named Desire. And he used to hang on old buildings around here. We just reinvent them. We repurpose them. We remodel them. So the warehouse district came into existence when the Americans came from the colonies. They started coming after the Louisiana Purchase, but they continue to come in here from all over the world. They gonna think we trifling if we don't do something. So they appealed to the government for a grant to resurrect this area in time for the World's Fair. We got the grant. We qualified in 1958. And the span on your right was built in 1988. When you come down off of, you're gonna end up at the Gulf of Mexico. And all along the Gulf of Mexico, we got these little fishing towns, and you could rent cabins and the seafood restaurants. Also, Venice, Louisiana is over there. All righty, my friends. Our next stop is stop 16. Anybody want to get off here at the convention center? There is a convention going on this one. The very first African-American mayor here in the city of New Orleans. He served the city as mayor from 1978 to 1984. So everything on your left, guys, this looks much different than it did before the World's Fair, because all these were ugly warehouses. When we found out about the World's Fair, everybody started to remodel. They were able to get these little grants to resurrect these old buildings. It's small. He said, if you want to build this big convention center, they gonna come. The Riverwalk Outlet Mall on your right, 72 little shops and eateries. That's designer stuff at a discounted price. And I do think someone is trying to catch the bus behind us. Yeah. We got somebody there. She's contracted to do a painting. She goes to that the culture, and she hit everything on the head. The corn all through the painting represented the Native American tribes that were here before the French. And then what else did I see? I saw the alligator eating a crawfish. We have alligators in record numbers. That's one of our delectable dishes here, and also crawfish. And also I saw a tortoise breaking the chains of slavery. And then on traffic light, we're going to be at stop 18, that's Harris. Anybody feeling lucky right now? Well, okay, if you're feeling lucky, get off the bus. Also, if you would like to go to Mother's Restaurant, Mother's is on your left, on the corner. That brick building down there on the corner, that's Mother's. You get off here and walk straight down the next block. And if you want to take a cruise on the river, or you want to go to Drago's Oyster Bar, get off right here. Y'all look alike. Y'all all look alike. Thank y'all for hanging out with us. All right, ladies and gentlemen, and it's real popular here. Starting in front of us at the Mississippi River, it's going to go 8 is French Quarter. Anybody want to hop off here at stop 19? Okie doke, I got some guests coming down. You get off here if you want to do some high-end shopping. We got some high rollers here. Yeah, this is where all Tom, Marc Jacobs, Michael Kors, Saks Fifth Avenue, Anthropologie, Athletica. Howdy, come on up. How you doing? How you doing? Hello. It's only on Canal. We got the French Quarter, the cemeteries. When you run out of Canal Street. It runs into the cemetery. We got the train and bus station on Loyola, and we also have City Park. City Park is beautiful this time of year. Something I definitely would recommend that you visit. France. Oh, that's what they all wanted. Well, they would pass by here and they said, my, that's an ideal spot for a city right on the river, just miles away from the Gulf of Mexico. Perfect spot. So everybody wanted New Orleans. Everybody was willing to fight for it. The French wanted it. Spain wanted it. Great Britain wanted it. The War of 1812 was fought over New Orleans. The French and Indian War fought over New Orleans. Anybody have any idea what the Battle of New Orleans was fought over? Now coming up is our next stop, the French Quarter stop number 1. If you would like to take the cruise on the Mississippi River, get off, walk back there to the boat. At the end of this building, make a left. We appreciate you. All right, so all y'all Californians, well, welcome, thank y'all. Yes. That was on white awning. That's where you get your beignets from and your cafe au lait. Alright guys, so Cafe Du Monde has dark clothing. If you wear dark clothing to Cafe Du Monde, you're gonna look like you had a powdered sugar fight with a toddler. Also, that's where you get your cafe au lait. Cafe au lait is French for coffee mixed with milk. Now this statue in front of us, guys, this is Joan of Arc. Joan of Arc was a patron saint of New Orleans, and that statue was a gift to us from France. We lovingly refer to that statue as Joni on a pony. The two restaurants on your left, they come highly recommended. The Market Cafe and the Gazebo. All right, this is stop number 2, my friends, coming down. All right, my dear. Howdy. Are you going to the market also? All right. Oh, I can't believe. Oh, maybe about 100 tons. They've got long dresses, short dresses. It's about everything. Now, normally there's about 200 local vendors here, except for Mondays and Tuesdays. Starting tomorrow, they're going to be much more on your... We not tear down old buildings, we just reinvent them. We repurpose them, we remodel them, but we don't tear them down. So the Jazz Museum is opened at 10 o'clock every morning, and it shuts down at 6 o'clock. There's 3 stories of nothing but historical jazz. Now once we left the Jazz Museum, which is located on Esplanade Avenue, we have left the French Quarter. We're now in another part of town called the Marigny. The Marigny was the first sugar plantation in this area, owned by a very wealthy landowner by the name of Bernard Marigny. Now, the most important and the most popular street in the Marigny is coming up right here. This, my friends, is called Frenchman Street. Does anybody want to get off on Frenchman Street? Frenchman Street is where all the live music. You don't have to get up and go nowhere and get hungry. They all have their own bistros inside. To Frenchman Street before you leave, that's something you should see. It's a little different from Bourbon. A lot of stuff you see on Bourbon, you won't see on Frenchman Street. So the food is good on Frenchman. The Frenchman Street used to be a well-kept secret among the locals. This is how musicians got started is out. I see tourists on nothing but nothing but art on the buildings. So 9 out of 10 artists that you see in front of Jackson Square, they live back here in the Marinade. That is not a duplex. That's a double shot. It's going to be on your left, guys. This girl completed that about 6 months ago on a ladder every day for a whole week by herself. Now, the other two had been here for about 2 years. But that's what the Marinade is about. It's about the art and the artists. We have a large art culture here in New Orleans. We have 3 big art festivals every year. Now, look to your right. This is the saxophonist. That was completed the month before the Corona shutdown. That guy just had completed that. Over on your right, this is Exhale. Exhale is about a month old, 3-4 Sundays ago. It was completed by 3 artists. That's what they do over here. They just draw on buildings. Now, we do have some restaurants here in the Marinade in case you want to come back. We have over here Laurel's Catfish Shack, popular for its catfish po' boys. And then we also have, we got the Big Cheesy. Oh, they put cheese on everything at the Big Cheesy. They even have a macaroni and cheese sandwich. Look to your left. This is my favorite though, Cajun Sea. Over here, cornbread and cabbage, red beans and rice and barbecue chicken. Now that's Chinese people, y'all, cooking the best soul food you ever ate in your life. Another double shotgun on your left. Yellow with a red door. So guys, we're back at Esplanade Avenue so that you can get your bearings and know exactly what. And from here, walk 3 blocks to your left, you're going to be at Bourbon Street. 3 more blocks, you're going to be at the French Market. Dating all the way back to the early 1500s, there was 150,000 right here. Now, not to confuse that with a free slave. A free person of color was a black person that lived here before 1600. Everything on your left was French. Was African Americans. Look to your right. Look up. You're going to see a steeple. Y'all see that steeple? Well, that steeple belongs to St. Augustine Catholic Church, the very first Roman Catholic African American. Alright, before Hurricane Katrina, the Treme become a very eclectic neighborhood. Everybody lives here now. Also, this park in front of us is Armstrong Park, named in honor of jazz great Louis Armstrong. That brown house all the way in the back of the park on the right, that was the childhood home of Louis Armstrong. Now, the Treme was a sugar plantation. We had many, many sugar plantations here. New Orleans was known for its sugar. People think in New Orleans, I think a lot of people thought cotton. Cotton is more North Louisiana, Baton Rouge, over that area. But in the New Orleans and Mississippi southern areas, all that was sugar. Sugar cane grow like wildfire here. Oh, do it grow. Sugar made a lot of plantation owners wealthy. Now this building on your right in the back of the park, that is the Mahalia Jackson Theater for Performing Arts. Mahalia Jackson was also a gospel singer from here. Her and Louis Armstrong were born and raised in New Orleans. They both left here in 1960, headed to New York in hopes of making it big. And the rest is history. Both of those became internationally known once they hit New York. Now, friends, our next stop is going to be stop number 5, the yellow building in front of us. This is the Basin Street Visitor Station. Now, going back to the fact that we don't tear down our old buildings, we just repurpose them, this is a case. This is a train station. They built in 1859. Well, by 1974, it got old and ugly, and it was just ready to fall down. And then Amtrak came to town in 1974, and Amtrak situated itself right next to the Greyhound bus station, and that's when they closed this train station down and moved into Amtrak. Now now it's a visitor center. All right, normally we're going to be here 5 minutes. And they are clean. This was erected in 1789. Them folks over there been dead a long time.
St. Louis Cemetery number 1. Several people that we've spoken about today are buried inside this cemetery. Bernard de Marigny from the famous Marigny plantation, stop number 3. Also Homer Plessy from the civil rights case, Plessy versus Ferguson. And of course Marie Laveau, the widow of Paris. The larger tombs are called society tombs. If we were all members of an organization or a club and we wanted to be buried together, what we would do is we'd purchase a society tomb. When your day came, you'd be featured up top for a year and a day. Then they would take what's left of you, put it in a bag, and throw it down below. That's how we fit up to 1,500 people in one of those tombs. This area on the right, this is Storyville. Storyville is our red light district that ran from 1897 to 1917. What ended Storyville was actually World War I. We were disembarking soldiers to help fight in World War I, and the federal government was paying us money to do it. You just couldn't have a brother. We have a statue coming up on your left. His name is Simon Bolivar. Simon Bolivar is from Venezuela, and he spent his entire life liberating Spanish countries from Spain. Bolivia is named after Simon Bolivar. Street. This was going to be a canal. The idea was we were going to help you get upriver without you having to paddle against the terrific current. Once we got ready to dig this canal, though, we had the invention of the steamboat, so we didn't have to dig the canal. What we ended up with is one of the widest streets in the United States. We have what's left of our theater district in front of us here. This will be the Joy on the right. The statue coming up on the right, her name is Molly Marine. Molly's slogan is "Free a Marine to Fight." She represents the female Marine reservists that were ready to go in World War II. A Mexican sculptor named Enrique Alvarez moved to New Orleans and never left. He sculpted Molly Marine. And if you look all the way on your left, you see a gray building on the other side of that parking garage. That opened up in 1872 as the Young Men's Gymnastics Club. Today, that is the New Orleans Athletic Club, the oldest gymnastics club in the United States. Part of the city. France had sent 2 brothers down from Canada to try to establish a colony in the area. He founded Algiers on the other side of the Mississippi River here, also Natchez, Mississippi, and then somehow he ended up dying of yellow fever in Cuba in 1706. He was envisioning a deep water port. We are currently the largest cargo port in the United States. Now, Bienville also loved the Indians. Off stop number 2, we have the old Indian trading post. Bienville loved to go there and spend hours listening to the Indians talk. There's also a very, very large curve in the river coming up on your left. We won't be able to see it, but it's there. And Bienville knew that if he put the cannons at the bottom of the so far, left to right, to shoot upriver and downriver. Now, those are the reasons why Bienville founded the city of New Orleans right here in 1718. On your left is Popeye's Fried Chicken that started in New Orleans with Al Coe.